All right, hey guys. My name is Sean Rashad, and today we're going to be talking about Yersinia pestis. And to start, so what is it? Yersinia pestis is a facultative anaerobic organism that is known to infect humans through the rat flea. And so this can grow in the presence or absence of oxygen, which is why I use the term facultative anaerobic organism. The organism has the ability to grow regardless of the presence of oxygen or not, and that is what also makes it really deadly. And it is gram-negative, it's rod-shaped, and it's non-nodal Coccobacteria type of bacteria. And in this picture here below, you see what it kind of looks like in the microscopic image variable. And so then where is it found? Yersinia pestis is found in small rodents and their fleas in the rural and semi-rural parts of Africa, Asia, and even the US, mainly in upland forests and grasslands where there are many kind of rodent species involved. And this organism, Yersinia pestis, kind of prefers hosts with body temps around 98 degrees, which is why some of the most common hosts with organisms are humans and mouses, rats, mice, etc. And so what does it cause and how? Yersinia pestis is known to cause many different types of plagues. These plagues occur after the host human is bitten by a rodent flea that is carrying the bacterium. So some of the most famous plagues that we may have heard of in the past that Yersinia pestis actually cause is bubonic plague, septic smite plague, pneumonic plague. And how it causes these plague is by producing two types of antiphagocytic components known as F1 capsule antigen and V antigen that are necessary for the disease to be harmful. So without either or, the disease is it's left handicapped, I guess you could say. It's not really active and in its strongest form. So both of these components are needed for the disease to be harmful and attack. And so then how do they reproduce? In order for them to reproduce, they need a host, obviously. And some of the most primary hosts are rodents, but there's also humans. And so how they spread is basically once the rodent is infected, the fleas come in and they're feeding off these rodents, right? So when they're feeding off, they also swallow Yersinia pestis. And then once they swallow it, these fleas obviously travel and go to different organisms. And when they go to different organisms and they start feeding off different organisms, that's when they're also transmitting Yersinia pestis into the other organism. And that is how this whole spreading occurs of the Yersinia pestis. And that's how it turns into a plague after over time. And so how Yersinia pestis protects itself is by arming itself in the macrophage, and it becomes resistant to phagocytosis, which is necessary to survive outside of the cell. And so for treatment, anyone diagnosed with the plague should be hospitalized immediately and for the best form of treatment, I guess you can say. And some of the three most top antibiotics that a doctor recommends is streptomycin, tetracycline, and chloromethanical, with streptomycin being number one. Chloromethanical, they recommend to hold off on that mainly because they want to leave that for the treatment of meningitis. But in worst case scenarios, that is an option always there. And that will be all for today, guys. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to comment below.